It's a warning! Shin Billy Bob, I was never an actor ShinRobjira here. And to keep things short and sweet and to the point, today I'm going to be talking about the poster version or the V2 version of NECA's Mothra KOTM figure. I feel like I have been waiting for this release for eons now, and I feel like it just dropped onto NECA's eBay and Amazon stores, which is where I picked this up and which is where you can pick this up as well, since I don't know if these things are going to be going out into stores. I'm pretty sure, right? Anyway, let's take a quick look at the box and then we'll go straight into the figure. Alright, right up front, this is a pretty basic box from the KOTM line. We've got the metal looking outsides, we got the blue font and the blue everything else. The only really cool thing about this box on the outside is the picture of Mothra on the back with the bioluminescence shining through. It looks fantastic. To the point where I probably would have paid an extra $10 to $20 for this just for my own little pair of LCD lights to really shine on this thing and make it glow. But now let's take a look inside the box. Inside the box, we can see a destroyed city in the background with lots of thunder, fire, and brimstone, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria, and on the other side, we can see a picture of the figure that we just spent moolah on, and whew, she looked fine. But anyway, let's take a look at the figure now. Now, with this figure being called poster version Mothra, of course it's only going to be accurate to that of the poster of which the paint scheme came from. And I was very happy to find that it is not just the Mothra figure that got the poster treatment, the base got the poster treatment as well, in more ways than one. So let's stop with the rotisserie style Mothra and take a look at the base. And Mega Man. Alright, here we have the back of the base, Mothra's cocoon. And as you can see, there is a lot more blue on this thing this time around. It is much more akin to Mothra's very own paint job. And the inside of this base is actually rather glossy looking. A nice little touch. The only thing that I'm really not too crazy about with this base, and it's a tiny nitpick, it's that the bottom of the base it wasn't painted. It doesn't really match the rest of the base. When you look at the original had that gunmetal gray base, you know what I mean? But I think I'm just nitpicking there. I think this actually looks better with the glossy inside over here. I think it makes more sense. But here is a comparison. This is OG Mothra. This is poster version Mothra. Both of the bases, you can see the major differences between them, especially on the back over here. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. I do feel the poster version, while having that crazy cool looking paint on it, definitely has a little bit less paint on it this time around. But I'm a sucker for shiny blue things, and at the end of the day, I guess it's having a nice major distinction between the two stands, other than the figure that it will be holding. Now, when it comes to stand assembly, it's the exact same as normal Mothra. This little hook right here will let you know that it is the front of the stand. Locate the hole, put the peg in the hole, bam. Now when it comes to getting Mothra on the stand, just make sure both of her arms are forward. Just make sure, you know, nothing breaks. You bring her to the center of the stand, lightly push in, there you go. Now with that being said, so I just truly, truly love how this looks. I love that the base coat for this Mothra is a darker navy blue with a lot of patches of a lighter blue acting as accents. Another thing that I thought was a really nice touch, Mothra actually has pupils. They look a little wonky from the front, but with Mothra's head being so small, I don't think you're really going to notice so much. And I think it's a very nice inclusion. I'm not sure if these are actually like pupils. They might just be sheen from the light, because when looking at this and looking at the front of the box, it kind of looks like just like a lighting thing, but it could be pupils. I don't know. I guess it's up to whatever you think. But now I'm going to fold up the wings, and don't you worry, we are going to be talking about the wings very, very soon. I just want to cover the rest of Mothra's body. Her legs look muscular. Again, I like that there are little lighter shades of blue on her legs and on her thorax. It looks really, really good. Really, really, really good. I do feel that the blue was not as heavily used on her back legs, but I don't think that's much of a problem. And I guess, you know what, while we're here, the articulation for Mothra's legs, a lot more solid than they were the first time around. My original color Mothra, the normal color Mothra, one of her front legs popped off very, very easily. One of the major updates to this figure is just very, very solid arms and legs, at least for mine. I don't know if it's going to be like that for everybody, but the arm articulation I feel has been improved. It's a lot more tighter. I feel a lot more confident in moving them without them falling off. The stand does feel a little bit more wobbly though. Maybe I just don't have her on fully. Maybe, maybe not. It might be the weight of the wings doing that. Speaking of which, look at these wings. They look so beautiful. Oh my god. I feel like a mixture of this blue with the original Mothra's paint job for the wings would actually be the most accurate looking Mothra figure that we've gotten so far. But we're not talking about ifs, ands, or buts. We are talking about what's in front of us, and it looks fantastic. The same amount of detail was kept for the wings when it comes to the scales. They are just of a darker color. I like that. Thank you very much, NECA. I think that was one of the many strong points for their Mothra figure. Just the fact that these scales, not fur as I was corrected, look really, really, really good. I especially love the detail for the center of the figure when the wings meet Mothra's body. I think they look really, really good. And now we will fold these up and we will look at the tinier wings. And the tinier wings look just as great as well. I really, really like the lighter shade of blue outlining the, whatever you would call these on the wings. That looks really, really nice. And I think these things look just as great when they're folded up like so. Again, I love the detail on these wings. I love the color on these wings. You know, looking at Mothra's body now, I feel like that blue for the arms was really only majorly used on the arms. Like, looking at her body, I can see little bits used to accentuate on some details, but other than that, I think it's mainly just the front legs. Or arms. But then again, I guess with this being based on a poster where we only saw this part of Mothra, that might make some sense. And again, I just need to gush about the detail on this Mothra figure because it looks so very good. So very good. Looking at these two queens side by side, you're going to see the strong points and the weaker points of both. The poster version being the darker bioluminescent blue and navy blue, you're of course going to miss out on a lot of the crazy accents showing off the details for Mothra's body that the original one had. Another thing is you're going to miss some of that tan paint on the wings like the original one had, while the poster version does not have that. At the end of the day, it really does come down to what you want in your Mothra figure. Me, clearly I went for both. And I like both of them for different reasons. But even when looking at the body, I really like the poster version of it because I've always been about the crazy paint jobs, even as a kid. I don't mind if something is screen accurate or not. I just like when they look really weird and different. And I do think NECA's poster version of Mothra is cool and different. Now let's compare the wings. Now, when looking at the wings, I really didn't think there would be too much different between them, but there's a lot more different between them. When it comes to the poster version, as you can see, they went more veinier with the design and with the paint, and when it came to the original, it was much more ornate and closer to original Mothra. Same thing could be said for the quote-unquote Godzilla's eyes on the ends of Mothra's wings over here. They look different. Which is another thing that I really appreciate NECA for doing because I don't feel like other companies would have done something like that. And that just makes poster version or bioluminescent version of Mothra all the more, I guess you could say, realistic. Because when something lights up, you would definitely see more of the veins. You would see the inner workings of things. You really wouldn't see much of the ornate design on the wings. So I think that's really smart of NECA to do. And it shows that they put thought into this, gosh dang it. Now, the last little comparison I'll do between the two figures is one other fix that NECA managed to jam into this thing. At least I think so. And that is just tighter joints on the wings as well. My original Mothra, one of her wings was just a lot looser than the other, and it really wouldn't hold a pose too much, which is fine because I normally have her like this on her stand. But it was a little frustrating moving her around and the one wing just kind of always limping over like so. Meanwhile, with poster version Mothra, the wings, I feel like they were put on tighter joints, or the joints were just made tighter, and they really don't move around that much. Watch, it's going to prove me wrong here. Or not. Okay, this one, there we go. And I feel like we can finally get Mothra into that X-wing pose without the wings getting a little funky. Like, I can't do this with the normal Mothra. Here, I'll just show you. See, I can't do this with the original. It would just do that. So the new wings, I think, are much more solid, but they're not going to, you know, stop from buckling like so. Now it's time for that their size comparison, and this size comparison is also kind of showing off what I mean about the wings. Like, look at how this just keeps it. These are just kind of like, you know, starting to limp over and be a little uneven. I don't care. I love them both the same way. Here are both of NECA's Mothra offerings. Here are both the NECA offerings with NECA V1 and NECA V2 Godzilla, the kings and queens of promise. And here we have our two queens with NECA Rodan, hopefully the next KOTM NECA figure to get a repaint, wink wink. Two NECA Mothras and a Trendmasters Mothra. I didn't even know I had this. I just found it. Here we have Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla and Mothra next to our two NECA Mothras. And here they are with emotionally confused Penguin Rodan. And here they are with... Get out of here, you're not canon yet. My bottle of sparkling ice. And nature's nectar. Baja Blast. Yeah, you guys thought I was gonna say my head. Looks like I have a really dapper looking bow tie. Ooh, Mothra bow ties. I'm probably gonna leave this in. And that is pretty much that. It still amazes me that NECA can make a $25 figure look like a $100 figure. Because the $100 accessory didn't sure... Okay, before I anger any more SH Monster Arts fans, I have been ShinRobjira. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why don't you subscribe to the channel? And if you like the video a lot, you can always check out my Patreon page. 3 different tiers, 3 different kinds of things that you'll be offered with those tiers. More coming soon. And you should also definitely check out the recently revitalized ShinRobjira Island Discord page. That Discord page was on its last limb until my good friends Steven and Corey came through with the save. Seriously, it's worth it. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, ShinBibbidi-Bob-Jira, NECA poster version Mothra. Hope you enjoyed. See you lot next time. A peace.